Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're jumping into the really compelling journey of Jack Ngare. He's a big name at Google now.
Absolutely. And his insights, well, they really struck a chord. He was actually trending on Twitter not long ago, maybe 6 months before the talk we're using as our source.
Right. So our mission today is pretty straightforward. We want to pull out the key lessons, the surprising details from his experiences.
Basically, give you a concentrated shot of understanding his path and what it means, especially for people keen to learn quickly.
Exactly. And the source material, like you said, it's excerpts from a recorded talk he gave.
Yeah, where he really opens up about his personal life, his career path. It's quite revealing. Great chance to see what drives someone like him.
Okay, so where do we start? Maybe his name. It's quite something.
Oh, yeah. He introduced himself as Jack Ngare.
And Dungar apparently might mean leopard, in some language anyway.
Right. But the middle name, Mugo.
That's the kicker. Reportedly means witch doctor.
So you get this leopard witch doctor thing going on.
Which he totally leaned into, joking about seeing Dr. Leopard for tech issues.
Yeah, like those ads you see on trees in Kenya, right?
Yeah. Right.
It's brilliant. Shows a great sense of humor and, connects instantly.
Definitely. Okay, so beyond the name, his background, born in Nairobi.
Mm-hmm. But spent the first few years, until about 6, in the UK.
And he's the second child. Older brother, 2 younger sisters.
Yeah. And interestingly, he said he didn't really feel that typical middle child syndrome.
Maybe because he wasn't super outgoing, he mentioned that.
Could be. What seemed more important was looking up to his older brother.
A role model, sounds like.
Yeah. And feeling protective of his younger sisters, even if, he wasn't always the toughest kid on the block.
Yeah. It points to those early feelings, responsibility, admiration.
For sure. Little things that shape you.
Absolutely. What about childhood memories? Did he share any?
He did a really lovely one. Playing with muddy water.
Yeah.
In an old tire.
Oh, nice. Classic kid stuff.
Totally. Using sticks for steering wheels, making engine noises.
Pretending to be a racing driver.
Exactly. He mentioned Beyond Walder, apparently the big name back then, pre-Lewis Hamilton.
Wow. That takes you back. It just shows, joy in the simple things.
It really does. And that ties into the lessons he took from growing up, partly in Uniki, a village, and partly in Nairobi.
The village upbringing. He mentioned being raised by the whole village.
Yeah, that strong sense of community. And the importance of remembering where you're from, no matter what.
And grounded.
Definitely. And empathizing with people facing poverty, wanting to lift them up. That came across strongly.
Those seem like really core values for him.
I think so. And remembering the simple things matter most. He even said he still uses childhood words like calling a tire a tile.
That's great. It keeps you connected.
Little anchors to your past,
So his parents, what's their story?
Both doctors in the medical field.
Okay.
His mother is third-generation Indian Kenyan. Her great-grandfather came over to help build the railway.
Wow, history right there.
And his father is Kikuyu.
Quite a mix. How did they meet, did he say?
He was a bit vague on that, actually. So they're kind of old school about it.
Right. Some things weren't discussed back then, maybe.
Yeah, cultural norms and all that. But he did make a joke about it.
Yeah.
Said his mixed heritage probably explains why he's very stingy.
That's a good way to handle it. So, growing up in Yanuki, schooling.
Yeah, fond memories there. Went to a public school in Yanuki first, said it was pretty good back then.
And then Nairobi later.
Kilimani Primary in Nairobi, yeah.
Any favorite activities from Yanuki? Besides the tire, I mean.
Oh, this was great. Chasing the neighbor's sheep off his grandfather's crops.
Classic rural fun.
But the best part, there was always one sheep that would turn around and chase him back.
Brilliant. Add a bit of spice to it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And food. Favorite meal.
Let me guess. Something simple.
You got it. Anything cooked in a pot over 3 stones outside.
That smoky flavor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He said even if it was burnt, it tasted amazing.
Yeah.
Those real basic sensory memories.
Yeah, they stick with you. What about music? Family celebrations?
He didn't recall specific songs, but he talked about the richness of African weddings.
Oh, yeah.
Colors, the clothes, the music itself. Said it felt much more vibrant compared to, say, European or U.S. weddings he'd seen.
Interesting observation. Okay, so we have this picture of his early life, his values. When does tech come into it? Because that's what he's known for now.
Right. He described finding tech as, like, a really important moment, maybe a bit scary even, realizing your calling.
But he wasn't one of those kids coding from age 5.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
He called himself a late bloomer in tech. Said his first real contact with a computer wasn't until uni, maybe 17 or 18.
That's quite late compared to many in the field today.
It is. And it's encouraging, isn't it? Shows you don't need that super early start.
So what sparked it then?
Well, initially it was games. He mentioned Wolfenstein.
On floppy disks. Oh, man.
Yeah. And he had this great explanation for younger listeners, basically. The floppy disk is the save icon.
Uh-huh. Perfect. But games led to...
Bugs. Those old floppy disks, they weren't exactly reliable, right?
notoriously flaky.
So games would crash, things would go wrong. And he started trying to figure out why. How to fix them.
Ah, the tinkering instinct. Problem solving.
Exactly. That's what hooked him. Plus, he noted there just weren't that many people in computing back then. It was a smaller field.
Fewer resources, maybe, but also maybe more room to explore from first principles?
Perhaps. Dealing with limitations sometimes forces you to learn more deeply.
Makes sense. Okay, so university. He started in Nairobi.
Yeah, University of Nairobi, Karamu campus. Said it was a pretty typical first semester. New people, having fun.
Maybe a bit too much fun.
He hinted at that. Said maybe that's partly where the opportunity to go study overseas came up.
Ah, right. Where did he go?
To the UK first. Did his undergrad and a postgrad there, both in computer science.
Okay.
And then later he did another postgrad, this time in business over in the US.
So quite a bit of time abroad studying. What about work? First proper job.
First official job, he said, was at BT British Telecom as a solutions architect.
Okay, what does that actually involve? Sort of designing systems.
Yeah, basically looking at what a business needs and designing the tech blueprint to make it happen. He described his role as building prototypes for the dev team.
Got it. But it wasn't all high-flying tech roles straight away.
No, he mentioned doing some pretty grounding jobs while studying in the UK to make ends meet.
Like what?
Cleaning the London Underground, working in the university library. Said it was humbling, built character.
Whoa, good perspective to have. So after all that time studying and working abroad, why come back? To Kenya, specifically.
He said it was always the plan, actually. Personal reasons.
Like what?
The warmth, he said.
Hey.
The people. And feeling he could make a much bigger impact back home.
Right, feeling like a small cog in a big machine versus really contributing somewhere.
Exactly that. He felt his contribution would mean more in Kenya, in Africa.
Makes sense. How did people react? His boss at BT, for instance.
His boss in the U.S. office, Boston, I think, was apparently shocked. Called it a bloody waste of talent.
Wow. Shows the perception of opportunities in Africa back then, perhaps.
Definitely. A lack of understanding, maybe.
So he comes back. What were the first jobs like in Kenya?
A bit of adjustment, it sounds like. He did a short stint at NIC Bank, but found the pace too slow.
Okay.
Then moved to Standard Bank, but felt a bit disconnected because the big decisions were all being made down in South Africa.
Frustrating. So what next? Did he stick with it?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. He actually flew back to the UK.
Oh. Thinking of going back to BT.
Yeah, kind of exploring that option.
Yeah.
But then Heathrow Airport happened. A chance encounter.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Who did he meet?
James Mwangi, the CEO of Equity Bank.
No way. Just randomly at the airport.
Pretty much started chatting Swahili, bit of English, recognized each other as Kenyan.
And Jack didn't realize who he was at first.
Nope. Just thought he was helping an older guy, help with his bags, walked with him while he shopped.
Just being helpful.
Yeah. Even walked him to the business class gate for the KQ flight they were both getting on.
And Jack was flying economy.
Right. So, slight awkward moment when the stewardess asks for Jack's pass.
Oh, dear.
But Mwangi just steps in and says, he's my guest. Insists he sits next to him in business class.
Wow. That's quite something.
It was only then Jack properly realized who he'd been chatting so casually with, James Mwangi. Said he felt pretty embarrassed.
I bet. How did Mwangi react to that?
Amazingly well. He apparently said, no, you're honest, so please keep telling me those stories. Liked the candidness.
That's fantastic. So what happened on the flight?
Well, Mwangi basically offers him a job, or at least plants the seed. Told him something like, you can't keep working for Mugus. Come and build the Ioku companies.
Mugus meaning foreign companies, and Ioku meaning local ones.
Yeah, that's the likely interpretation. Local Kenyan enterprises. Gave him his card, told him to get in touch.
Incredible. A life-changing flight. Did he take him up on it?
He did. He looked into Equity Bank, liked their mission, and decided to go for it.
And what did he do there?
He ended up leading the tech team for the launch of Equitel. Felt really empowered, like he was making that impact he wanted. Stayed there for 6 years.
What a story. That Heathrow meeting, pure serendipity, but it set him on a whole new path.
It really did. And that Equitel experience, that was clearly a massive stepping stone towards the big tech roles he's involved with now in Africa.
Amazing journey. Okay, let's shift slightly. It's always good to hear what successful people are not so good at. Did he share any weaknesses?
Yeah, a few relatable ones. Singing, apparently. His kids give him a hard time.
I think many parents can relate to that.
Definitely. Also admitted he's not great with artsy things generally.
Okay.
And football. Said he's not coordinated. Even told a funny story about accidentally stepping on the outgoing president during the Microsoft Development Center launch because they walked similarly.
Oh, no. That's awkward but funny.
And apparently, his hair during lockdown was a source of amusement. Colleagues joked it looked like a toupee.
Keeps him humble, I guess. It's good to hear those things.
It is. Makes people more human, you know?
Absolutely. What about fears? Did he talk about childhood fears?
Interestingly, no. Couldn't recall any specific ones from childhood.
But professional fears now, as someone in his position.
Yes, and his answer was quite profound, actually. He talked about the weight of responsibility.
Responsibility for what?
For bringing opportunities to young people in Africa's tech scene. Making sure the ecosystem grows strong enough.
Ah, right. Ensuring there are real competitive opportunities locally.
Exactly. Developing engineers who can compete globally, keeping Africa attractive for investment, basically creating a thriving environment so talent doesn't have to leave.
That's a big weight to carry. Connects back to his desire to uplift, right?
It seems deeply connected, yeah. A sense of duty to the next generation.
So if we were to wrap this up, sort of summarize the deep dive into Jack Ngare's story.
Well, you go from these, fairly humble beginnings, even a late start in tech, by his own admission.
Right, the floppy disk bugs.
To becoming this key figure helping bring major tech investment into the continent.
And the key themes seem to be staying grounded, remembering your roots.
Being open to totally unexpected opportunities, like that Heathrow
And
moment.
to not forget that one.
And understanding the responsibility that comes with success. Using it to create pathways for others.
It's a powerful narrative. Which brings us to maybe a final thought for you, listening.
Yeah, maybe think about your own life. Those unexpected encounters, the small choices. Could they be leading somewhere significant?
Or those floppy disk bugs, the challenges, the things that frustrate you.
Exactly. Could they actually be the spark for something new? A different path, a passion you didn't expect.
It's often in those messy, unexpected bits that the interesting stuff happens, isn't it?
Definitely something to mull over. Where might your own unexpected turns lead?